Welcome to qnawire.
So we have 10 sets of data, and we have X being the number of square feet, and we have Y being the price in thousands of dollars. And so the very first thing I did was just made a little graph. I like to look at a graphic relationship, and I put it in. You can either graph it as a scatter plot on, with an Excel document or on a calculator. And so I saw a graph that looked like that. So I'm seeing a positive association. And your first question asked to get what the linear regression line is for that. And so I'm calculating it actually on a TI-84, not in Excel. And I have that my model is y hat is equal to 98.248 plus 0.1097, and it would round to 7x. And part B asked, is there a significant, it said, is the regression equation significant? And if we look at what the correlation coefficient, well, first if I look at the graph and I see a positive association, it's not perfect, but I see my R value is 0.762. So that tells me that it's a pretty strong, or moderately strong positive association. Okay, it's not totally linear. It's not exact. It's not one, but it's not near to zero either. So it's a pretty strong positive association. So yes, there is a relationship. Now, part C asked you how much of the variability in the house price is based on this association between house price and linearity, and that is our R squared. And our R squared is 0.58. So 58% of that variability in house price is explained by this linear relationship between the two. So you have 42% that's coming from some other factors, but a lot of it, or most of it, is based on that relationship between those two variables. Now, the next question asks, what happens as the square footage goes up by 1 square foot? What's happening to the Y variable or the price? What will happen? So if you increase the square footage by 1 square foot, what do we anticipate happening to the price? And that is your slope. We anticipate that the Y value will go up by 0.11 basically, and that's in thousands of dollars. So in thousands of dollars would mean if we multiply that by 1,000, we would anticipate if the square footage goes up 1 square foot, that you're going to increase the price by about $1,100. Now, part E says, is there a relationship? Is there some type of a relationship? And yes, there's a positive association. As one would expect, it does appear that as the square footage goes up, the price goes up. It's not a perfect relationship, but it's definitely a positive association and looks to be, relatively linear in nature. So this model is not going to give you a perfect explanation for what the price would be for the certain number of square footage, but it will give you a pretty good estimate.